All right, this one is splitter tech. Okay, splitter tech is a type of AI encoding that run as a mind control script that is embedded into a variety of types of media, such as written words, spoken words of an infected individual, video or audio recordings that can pass on that same scripted code to another person that resonates with the same frequency or information. It reveals a profile that is commonly observed in very academic or intellectually developed people and tends to be attached to highly mentalized persons with dominating negative egos, judgmental perceptions, and little to no heart opening. When a person is aware of the NAA and is also aware of the fact that controller forces have a psychopathic personality, this means they have lack of empathy and no true developed compassion for others, as they do not have a soul and thus cannot experience any higher emotional spectrum. They are indeed heartless and unable to feel emotions and ruled by instinctual forces. All right, so this goes back into like service to self. This is talking about, I guess, like a type of, it says type of AI, right? And it's talking about, I guess, like alien agenda, right? It's talking about controller forces. Um, I think it like mirrors something in reality in terms of, actually, maybe I'll just continue. I'll hold that thought. To a coherent, clear, and energetically balanced person, when reading words or being exposed to splitter tech script, it feels like your brain is getting scrambled and thoughts are scattering, and maintaining clear focus is nearly impossible. It also is sprayed as implants to divert attention and focus within a group environment, as one person may be a booby trap with splitter tech that is used to disrupt or divide and conquer the entire group objectives patterns, including AI induced embedded code through a signal that may influence a splitting effect, also known as bipolar or biwave influences, to align the target or subject to metatronic reversal, metatronic spiral, or entropic systems of energy. A case study example of what it feels like when exposed to splitter tech. The words felt spiky, scattered, and lacked coherence. In an attempt to make sense of it, I could feel splitter scrambler. It's like the words come into my head and are going in different directions, scattering about and not forming a picture. Hmm, interesting. Okay. Huh. Hmm. Splitting is a very common ego defense mechanism. Splitting, also called black and white thinking and all or nothing thinking, is the failure in a person's thinking to bring together the dichotomy of both positive and negative qualities of the self and others into a cohesion, realistic whole. It can be defined as the division or polarization of beliefs, actions, objects, or persons into good and bad by focusing selectively on the positive or negative attributes. Okay. Splitting diffuses the anxiety that arises from our inability to grasp the nuances and complexities of a given situation or state of affairs by simplifying and schematizing the situation and thereby making it easier to think about. It also reinforces our sense of self as good and virtuous by effectively demonizing all those who not share in our same opinion and values. Okay, so now I have reading that I have a little to say on it. So splitter tech, right? It would be like videos. It could be any kind of media, right? Um, Whether or not it's AI, I feel like it could be it's just that us versus them mentality. Like it's people's inability to recognize the commonality or the common ground between everybody. Like it's it reminds me, like, I don't know if I just said it. It's like the us versus them game, right? It's like I always think of that Pink Floyd song, right? Um, it's like that's there's maybe I have it written down. Let me put it into perspective. Maybe this is a good way to use this note here. Um, Instead of making a video on it. What is it? Hmm. All right. So I was reading. No, I was watching um, a. I think this is a fair example. Like, um, I was watching a Zizek video, some philosopher that gets recorded, and two things that I wrote down that he said that I like the idea of, and I'll probably like talk about it some other time or like more in depth at some point, right? But the two things that I wrote down were the imminence of an emancipatory collective. Okay, so it's talking about, right, the it's like the growth and expression and manifestation, right? That the imminence, it's emanating, or it's like coming into being, an emancipatory collective. So it's like a group of people that are not only free, but their presence is freeing, that kind of thing. All right. And it says here, the Holy Spirit is a egalitarian community bound by love, right? So it's like when I think about like Christianity, it's like everyone that is like genuinely Christian, like that is their mode of being. That like everyone is. It's like that. The body of Christ, or like the Church of Christ. It's like everyone that follows what the teachings of Christ and acts in a way that is has integrity with that. Um, they there's no there's no there's like no level of differentiating between like the bad and the good. It's like it's just all good. So that's what this is talking about. It's like people outside of that notion who can't live within that notion. It's like that's what this stuff is like doing. That is, it's this stuff like attacking them, right? It's like they have some kind of natural service to self inclination, and then the splitter tech is what like um defines the worldview that they use to act in a way that's service to self. Um, hmm, hmm, I don't know. This is just what's coming to mind, like reading this stuff. All right, let's see. Maybe I'm not understanding it correctly. I'm just kind of like thinking. Splitting is a very common ego defense mechanism. Splitting. Oh, I just read this. Splitting also arises in group of members. All right, maybe not. Yeah. Okay, I think I read that. It also reinforces our sense of self as good and virtuous by effectively demonizing all of those. It's like all the body of Christ, like all the people that are in the Church of Christ, like they never use this technology. If you like, it's as if like behaving. Think about it as if like behaving in a certain way is technology, right? And they never use that technology. Um, all right. Where am I at then? On the other hand, such as compartmentalization of opposites leave us with a distinctly distorted picture of reality and a restricted range of thoughts and emotions. It also affects our ability to attract and maintain relationships, not only because it is tiresome and draining, but also because it can easily flip, with friends and lovers being thought of as a personified virtue at one time and then a personified vice at another. Right. So it's like I guess this is like trying to say that like the mindset that would like go to use this kind of technology is like unable to see how dynamic life really is. So they have like the black and white thinking. Um, hmm. and because they like have that technology and use that technology, or that technology has been put into them, they separate people. It's all I mean, it just goes back to like the adversary, there's some word that I don't know, like a divider, something like that. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Splitting also arises in groups when members of the in group are seen to have mostly positive attributes, whereas members of the out groups are seen to have mostly negative attributes, a phenomenon that contributes to groupthink and indeed inflexible attitudes of xenophobia. Xenophobia is intense or irrational dislike or fear of people that we consider strangers or unfamiliar to us. Um, I think this kind of stuff is self explanatory. Um, I think another good way, I think about this a lot. It's like memes, like internet culture, um, most cultures in general, like, especially people that like, no, let's go back to memes. It's like some people like the certain kind of meme, and like if they don't like the kind of meme that you don't like, they could fight over it, or like bicker, or uh, completely try to avoid people, defame people, like anything. It's like anything that isn't trying to be compassionate or understanding with another person. Yeah. Mm, I think this. I don't know what this stuff is really about. When we're talking about planetary logos brain being hijacked and the minds of human beings that are on the planet being hijacked, we are looking at the gravitational anomaly relationship to how the magnetic resonance was being put into the planetary body in the core of the Earth. So, natural magnetic field of the Earth would carry these mind control carrier waves from the NAA and into the lower atmosphere and into the surface of the Earth. A lot of mind control is being carried through extremely low frequencies of radio waves that we would call radio wave frequencies. Those frequencies that would resonate with the average human being first, second, and third chakras, seeing that there's a certain parameter of resonances of the human body. Residences of the human body, looking at the human body and realizing coming to 3D for the average person, the body itself, and the physical biology of the person is going to have certain set of frequencies that resonate in the third dimension, which is the byproduct of being born here on the planet in this timeline. They take these parameters of frequencies that exist at those levels and they start programming it into a system of AI technological control. These nets, these frequency fences, and in the core of the planet, they are running certain algorithm. This is a program, as we know, that program is, of course, artificial intelligence. It's alien and it's promoting what we know as bi-wave consciousness. This is the Vesica Pisces bi-wave plus minus. They want to create that extreme of polarities and to keep that plus and minus away from each other, splitting. All right, so I guess this is trying to go into something that is like beyond what I understand, really. Hmm, it's talking about like a as if there's a physical reality that would not really be known to many people, or if it does, it's not as um not many people know about it. Like it's kind of like far out stuff, you know. um I mean, using, magnetic fields and putting data directly into people, or that kind of thing is just, I don't know whether or not it's like true in that kind of regard, like whether or not certain frequencies can be sent out that have no like intellectual or like discernible content in terms of like how we use language. I just don't know. I just don't know. um but I think um I've heard people talk about this. It's like, everyone has like a magnetic field, right? It's something that Charles has talked about before. It's like people have magnetic fields and they have to like discern what needs to be what should be allowed in one's field. It has that kind of notion with it, but it's saying like stuff that's not comprehensible to me as still being something that's real and affecting people en masse. The implications of it are like huge. I mean, we're talking about, like a race from a different world being able to have the technology to like physically manipulate in our world and our the people in our world, um, but it's totally not discernible to us. Um, Very serious kind of claim. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, just more of like as if this is like a physical reality. I know people that talk about this kind of stuff. It's like this reminds me of like Dan Winter, where it's like, um, they're talking about like like an architecture to reality, like reality is made. It's like the material of the reality behaves in a certain way, but it also behaves in a certain way because of like a spiritual quality to it. I don't know much about that stuff. Maybe I'll learn more about it as time goes on. But it's just I don't know. I think it's interesting. All right. So antidote to splitters. It's like if some of this stuff is I don't know. I don't recommend this really. I don't know. It's interesting that this person who made this website has something like this, but it's kind of also it's just it's something I don't understand. It's something that I don't I can't really empathize with it. I'll tell you why when we get there. Um, hmm. Okay, the first step to clear and remove the signal of splitter tech from influencing or running in your brain or nervous system is to not allow fear over to take you over and identify what it is, and then use HSP to further identify its signal and energetic signature. The more you can source the AI, you will feel its direct relationship of exploration of bipolar and negative thinking, which is scattered, lacking clarity or cohesion, and can feel razor sharp, spike like, as if etheric weaponry has been aimed at your light body or directly into your head. The less impact that the negative ego and predator mind has to emotionally trigger our personal thought forms, belief systems, and unconscious mind, the easier it is to clear the splitter tech than when we are exposed to it. When we have developed mental discipline and have awareness of how splitter tech works, we can call it out, clear its influence, and it dissipates almost immediately because you must refusing its access to your energy system. You must refuse its access to your energetic system. Sometimes, when we are weakened by pain, difficulty, or exhaustion, we could be more susceptible to this kind of infiltration of low frequency signals into our neurological system. When our nervous system gets hit like this, it leads to influencing our thoughts, and we may become scattered, unable to focus, unable to express our feelings, and a low frequency brain fog fills our head with confusion, sometimes leading to headache, pain, and cranial pressure to gain immunity to the AI embeds of splitter tech. All right. Um, hmm. Anything to say about that? Hmm. Hmm. I guess it goes back to what I was saying before, what I read earlier. It's just like recognizing when people are trying to like split people apart or not or have a reason or like promote a reason to not have compassion for people. Um, all right, let's see. To gain immunity, let's talk about the immunity to split technology, right? Uh, Identify the source code by registering your immediate response or reaction as an energetic event when you are exposed to certain levels of media or other people talking in group environments. How can I reiterate that? Identify the source code by registering your immediate response. Um, the source code. Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting. I don't really have anything to say about it. Pay attention to what you are feeling in the exact moment of exposure and your subsequent symptoms. Do you suddenly feel scattered, scrambled, unable to cohere thoughts about what just happened? Does your head hurt out of the blue? Yeah, I guess I haven't really experienced like a lot of this what they're talking about. So I can't really say anything about like these symptoms existing. I don't know. I've just never really felt like mm, maybe it's like I've I've been influenced by like split thinking or like black and white thinking to the extreme, but I've never had like a physical pain or reaction to that. Like not like they're describing here. Even though you may not pinpoint it exactly, you have registered to yourself that something happened, and with this action, you can take immediate steps to clear it from your energetic system, disable the signal, clear any booby traps of implant activation, and refocus yourself to your heart center and positive, loving thoughts. Pay attention to any kind of negative or troubling thought form that comes up that is clearly identifiable to the achrontic deceptive behaviors and negative ego thought forms. Shift that fear based thought form to GSF behaviors or law of one practices of loving oneself to override the negative or confusing thought forms. Try to keep yourself rested, calm, and still when in the presence of extreme chaos or negative forces. Do not engage with it in a personal way. Do not lose your cool and get upset. Return to center, go deep within your heart, pop the signal out of your aura by commanding personal space and using GSF boundary testing. I'm not too familiar with that. But it's like GSF behaviors. This person has on their website. Maybe I don't think I'm gonna do that today. Maybe I will another time talk about it. But it's like a big part of this whole website is um GSF is it stands for God Sovereign Free, which is like the people that believe this like everything here would say that they're God sovereign and free, and like people that would like come to realize the truth of this stuff, like that's what they are. um hmm. And then the law of one, so it's like that goes into I'll probably do a thing on that, but it's just not for today. uh it goes into like I made a video talking about non-duality, or like even even when I was mentioning like the Church of Christ, right? It's like all these people should recognize that they're like part of the same body. So there are like some things that on this website that like on the page law of one where it talks about like the principles of the realization of that kind of mentality where it's like you should see others and love others as you love yourself. So I guess I'll go into that more at another time. But like that mentality, like if anyone tries to use splitter tech against you, it's like what it's trying to say is that's the antidote. Like recognizing um, like how things operate in the world, uh, recognizing like if someone tries to say to you like, oh, like don't talk to them, don't talk to a person because they're this and this, but they don't have like a broader picture. This is an example of like what can go wrong with this kind of technology implemented into someone's life. It's like you can be influenced to such a degree that you will like lose compassion for someone around you. You like you I guess hmm, this just made me think of the question like when is it time to like cut yourself off from people and stuff like that. I guess there's like um there's a time to know when that is something that you should do, but I don't know, I'm going away from the point. Mm-hmm. And this I just really don't understand. It's like they're giving a method to clear this kind of technology from yourself, and I really don't understand it. Start session command, so it's like a ritual, like a practice. Start you calibrate with the commands, HGS commands 12 dimensional unity vow, standard ES practices. So it's like this woman. This is why I'm very skeptical about this kind of stuff. Is because like it's part of it is like giving a method to people, and then like people do this ritual, and then they become someone who might propagate the ritual, and like if I did this, it's like I have no discernible way to see really if it's working the way that this person is actually, describing or intending it to work. So I just I don't really mess with it. Um, and I don't, if I'm honest with myself, it's like I don't really know what to say about this person when it comes to this stuff. Like I don't know if maybe this person found out something, uh, and I just don't understand it. But I don't know. That's not the point of why I want to talk about this stuff. Um, I don't know what to say about this anymore. I think people should recognize this kind of media, or these kinds of like um, this like sentimentality of being unable to. It's like condemning people. We're not supposed to condemn people, right? So I guess this kind of like touches on that in a very weird or unfamiliar way. It's talking about it as if it's like a physical manifested reality, that not only is that, but it can be altered and manipulated with very like particular kinds of technology. It's just very interesting. And I think, like I might have said earlier, it just mirrors some of the kind of technology that is very prevalent, that you can see is used, maybe not intentionally, yet it still splits people away from each other. It gives people reason to just not to treat people uh, in a way that is less than the worth of the actual person. I don't know. I could probably say that in a better way, but that's all I got. I think that's it for this one. 27 minutes, dang. Thanks for watching if you watched the whole thing. And bye.